One of the Peacekeepers for my pulse.
Portal is blue. I'm looking for blue.
It's to the left.
To our left.
To the left. I'm grabbing the white
I
one.
might be late. I hope I'm not late. Tractoring in a second. Good.
I have white, if that's the next portal. It is, I got it.
Walls out, walls out.
Can make you orbs.
Thanks, Noah.
Thank you, Noah.
You a big man, Noah.
I got the portal.
I don't think we need it.
Okay. Yeah.
We don't need it.
Damage.
Be my super. Give me my super.
Oh.
Oh.
Arms. Unlucky.
Holy crap.
Gamers, welcome back to the channel, or welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a monstrous DPS build for Titans today, post Edge of Fate launch. This build is going to feature a primary weapon as your main source of damage, and also as your booster to give you multiple supers in one damage phase to give you great overall damage. The weapon in question is going to be Antidate, the brand new SMG released in the Desert Perpetual raid released last month, and it is a monster. Accompanying it is going to be an unlikely choice in Finality's Augur. This is the linear fusion exotic from the Thunder Doctrine dungeon, and believe it or not, it actually plays a great role in this build. The exotic armor of choice is going to be Peacekeepers. Now, for those of you that don't know what Peacekeepers do, they state the following. While wielding a submachine gun, handling, airborne effectiveness, and movement speed are all improved, and damage against combatants will increase the longer you remain on a target. Submachine guns are reloaded when stowed. Now, the damage portion is obviously great, but the key is going to be that last sentence where submachine guns are reloaded when stowed. The way Peacekeepers work is once you swap to a different weapon, you can then almost instantly go right back to your SMG, and you will have all your ammo reloaded. This brings us to our kinetic slot, the top slot. So, you have two choices here for this build. You can either rock a special weapon, like Mint Retrograde for example, that's all the craze right now, or you can run a second SMG. Yeah, double primary. And guess what happens if you do? You then create a mini loop where you can use both SMGs together to keep reloading over and over. So, for example, I'm using Multimach and Antidate together, and I can start on Antidate, shoot it as I need to, then swap to Multimach. That will then reload my Antidate through Peacekeepers while I'm shooting Multimach. I'll proc Kinetic Tremors with Multimach and then go back to Antidate, and my ammo is ready to go once again. And while I'm shooting my Antidate, guess what? Multimach just got all its ammo back too. Now, there's a key layer to add here, and that is, why am I using this SMG specifically? Well, let's talk about my role. That's going to be Rewind rounds, Weewoo rounds, in the third column, and then Target Lock in the fourth column. This provides me a good damage perk, while also giving me free ammo as I'm shooting the gun. And as we already stated, Peacekeepers will give you more damage the longer you stay firing the weapon on a target. And there's a little combination you can do to set up your rewind rounds to give you even more benefits. I'll talk about that in a second with the gameplay loop, but first I want to go over the kit. Oh, also, potential weapon replacements before we move on. So, there is no exact match to Antidate right now. The closest is No Survivors from Ghosts of the Deep. However, it is a 720, not a 900, and also the one from the dungeon will just be a straight regular weapon. It can't get tiers. If you do have the one from Ride 9, that one went up to tier 3, I believe. So that's the closest you can get to this SMG. If you don't have that, you could also use Yeartide Apex, the one from Solstice recently. It doesn't roll rewind rounds, but it does have target lock, so it's probably your next best choice. So I'm in an Arc Titan, and that's what the build is going to be about, but I did want to mention that you could use this on Prismatic Titan as well. I'll show a kit for that in a second, but let's go over Arc first. In your abilities, all you really want to have is Rally Barricade. Other than that, you can do whatever you want. I personally have Pulse Grenade, maybe you like a different grenade. The reason I put Rally Barricade is because of our aspect, which is going to be Storm's Keep. This provides us free Bolt Charge stacks, which then turns into Lightning. That will give us more extra damage. Our other aspect is going to be Knockout, simply just because it heals, and also can give you Amplify, which is also great for DR. For fragments, I have Spark of Recharge, which gives me melee and grenade energy when I'm critically wounded. Spark of Frequency, which will give us an effect that says, while amplified, the effects are increased and you gain increased stacks of bolt charge from all sources. So, when you have your barricade down, you get your bolt charge stacks faster. Number 3 is Spark of Resistance. When you're surrounded by combatants, you are more resistant to incoming damage. And then lastly, Spark of Brilliance, literally only because it gives you a +10 on your super stat, which does matter now with the new armor system. And here's the prismatic version. I'm not going to yap too long. Here are the abilities. We have Frenzy Blade for melee, Glacier Grenade for the grenade. Aspects, we have Knockout and Consecration. And then for fragments, we have Facet of Protection, Facet of Courage, Facet of Ruin, and then Facet of Justice. People are going to ask, why is this here? This is specifically here because you get +10 on your super. Speaking about the kit, let's talk about the stats. So stat breakdown is going to be 2 main stats, and we're going to ignore everything else. You can put the stats up as much as you like, but those other 4 are not going to really matter that much. The main 2 stats are going to be weapons. We want to boost the damage of our SMGs with Peacekeepers as much as humanly possible. And then super energy, because we want to pump our super stat for both getting our super as fast as possible and also getting as much damage as possible. And because we want to crank as much damage as we can to get our super as fast as we can, our main stat is going to be weapons. Now, the other reason why it's weapons is because in our boots, we want to wear surge mods to boost the damage of our weapons. Because of this is going to be 9 points, which means we can't put a 3-point mod in here for weapons. So it's going to be a minor weapons mod instead. In our helmet, though, there are no surge mods. We can actually utilize these slots for fonts, which is going to be super font. We're going to put 3 copies in, which is going to give us 20, 20, and 10 points respectively for 3 copies. So it's going to give us 50 points towards our super. Basically, what that means is it's much easier to build towards 200 super than it is to 200 weapons. So that's the secondary reason why you want to stack weapons points more than super. Now for the gameplay loop, and then we'll get to the armor and mods. So in this build, the first thing you want to do before damage is have your Finalities Auger set up. By setup, I mean make sure that it's not on linear fusion mode and it's on turret mode. And then fire your Dorito, that's what I call it anyway, into the sky, very high up, and then make sure that you aim at the target, in this case, a boss. Then, immediately after doing that, you want to either go with Thunder Crash, or you want to go with an SMG shot from your multi-mock and then Thunder Crash. The reason I mention this is because with the Finalities Auger, the Catalyst has bait and switch. So if you hit all of your weapons, you have bait and switch propped. So the idea here would be you hit up Finalities Auger into the sky, that's already going to be shooting, your multi-mock hits, then you Thunder Crash, and lastly, after Thunder Crashing, you whip out your Antidate and start shooting with rewind rounds and target lock, and at this point, bait and switch is procced on your Finalities. So your setup is complete, and now you're just shooting your Antidate at the boss. At this point, rewind rounds is going to start proccing, not once, but twice. After the second proc, you want to go ahead and swap to your kinetic, whatever it may be. Mine is multi-mock with kinetic tremors, so I do that. As soon as I do that, I go back to Antidate. My Peacekeepers just activated, so it reloaded my Antidate, and I keep shooting that. At this point, rewind rounds are going to proc again, and it's either you keep shooting your SMG and get your super, or you already have your super because you just got a metric F-ton of energy. So if you got your super, bang, hit the boss one more time with it. And that is generally how the loop works. The only difference is you will occasionally have to reapply Finalities Auger as the turret. Dorito does not stay up there forever, so occasionally you got to put it back up there. Other than that, you're pretty much done. Now there is a second variation to this, and it's exactly the same, except it involves swapping to Curse of the Falling Star for your super for maximized damage from your super, and then immediately swapping back to Peacekeepers. This is mostly for people that like loadout swapping or can do it. If you hate loadout swapping, you can completely ignore what I just said and just stay on Peacekeepers the entire time. The damage is very, very good on just Peacekeepers alone, so don't think too much of it. Alright, and here are the armor mods. I will also have a dim link down below in the description in case you want to try out the build on your own, but here are the mods for people that don't use dim. So, in our helmet, I already mentioned 3 super font mods to give us 50 points to our super. In gloves, I have 1 copy of heavy-handed, so I can do my knockout punches and make orbs if I need to, and then 1 copy of arc loader just in case. In chest, I have 1 copy of arc resist, 1 copy of solar resist, and then 1 copy of ammo generation. Peacekeepers, we already know, 3 copies of arc weapon surge to buff the damage of our weapons, and then lastly, in the class item, 1 copy of time dilation, 1 copy of powerful attraction, for when you barricade, you just pick up orbs around you, and then 1 copy of special finisher just in case you're using a special weapon in your kinetic slot like Myth Retrograde. That's all for this one. If you did enjoy the video, please consider subscribing today. It does help the channel grow as much appreciated. If you want to go the extra mile, you can leave a like and or comment below as well. If you don't know what to leave as a comment, you can leave Wee Woo Rounds as the comment. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.